My name is Rodolphe Dos Santos Ferreira, or as they say in French, Rodolphe Dos Santos Ferreira, and I'm mainly a French economist, but who has been involved a lot in Portuguese activities too. I began my university studies in law, in the Faculty of Law in Lisbon, and then I moved to France and began to study economics. I have worked in parallel in history of economic thought as a historian and as a theorist in economic modeling, in particular mathematical models. This way of using the 2 feet began already at the time of my PhD thesis, which began with the work on Aristotle and Marx, and then incorporated what was fashionable at that time in theory, that is the controversies, the so-called Cambridge controversies on capital theory. And this involved a lot of mathematics. So that I began, my thesis was announcing what has been all my career, with part of it devoted to mathematical modeling and more generally economic theory, and part of it to history of economic thought. Even in theory, I'm not a specialist because I began to work seriously with my main co-authors, Claude and Louis-André Gérard Varret, who were also of the generalist type. Claude was trained in philosophy, and Louis-André Gérard Varret in sociology and mathematics, in parallel with economics. We began to work at the time of, at the end of the fixed price theory. We were looking for macroeconomic foundations that on the imperfect competition side. So that our first work was on one concept of involuntary unemployment that involved the market power exerted by firms in output markets, and the consequences on the labor market of this market power. And then this, we moved from statics to dynamics, and I have worked a lot on endogenous economic fluctuations, always with the imperfectly competitive features, and then in parallel with my 2 co-authors and independently, I have worked on general equilibrium with oligopolistic competition and in I/O, so that I have traveled a lot, and this of course is in contrast with what has become the standard practice in our profession, where young people try to specialize very soon, and I quite understand that it is a more efficient way of having publications and beginning the career. But there is something that is interesting in the generalist strategy, and I can regret that there are not some more people that practice this kind of more different strategy, which allows to make connections between different fields, and which can also be quite efficient, and which, by the way, allows also to have to build a large framework